guys, welcome to Podcast Fandom, the official podcast for ProjectFandom.com. I'm your host, Nina.
I'm Donald.
And I'm John.
And we're back to discuss Only Murders in the Building. We're going to be talking about episodes 7, 8, and 9. And then next week is the finale. That's perfect. Yes. Yep. Yeah, but first, we're going to shoot the shit for a moment. I have show business stuff, but that can wait until the end if anybody has anything better. Anything better than schedule stuff.
The only thing, like I told y'all, the only thing I've watched is Squid Game, and I know y'all talked about that a lot already, so.
Yeah, we are recording for the finale. I think I moved it to Saturday. Yeah, we've watched that. Everything I'm watching, I'm podcasting, basically. I don't think I'm watching anything that I'm not, like, talking about elsewhere. I do feel like we've seen something, but we haven't watched the movie, right?
Yeah, we went to see the Marvel. No, we talked about it. Did we talk about that?
Yeah, I think we talked about it. Yeah, we did. The Marvel one.
The Shang-Chi. That's
Shang. Oh, Nico's acting up. Yeah, I don't think... no. I don't really have anything. I feel like there was something, but clearly it's not that important. All right, well then show business. So, because we had moved some stuff around, when I got back from vacation, things were pushed a week behind. So it's just a reminder that now we are starting Demon Slayer. We just finished covering Attack on Titan over on Premium and Erased, which is sad as hell. Kaylee warned me it was a sad anime. I was not prepared. And now we're moving into Demon Slayer. We added a couple of shows to the schedule. Foundation, which we started. I actually, you guys, right before I wrote Donnie to see if he was ready to podcast, I got a little notification from Apple TV. Did you get it, Donnie?
No, because I use your login.
Oh, okay. So anyway, I got the notification. It was like, a new episode of Foundation is now available on Apple TV. I got so excited. I didn't expect to get excited about a space show with a lot of math in it, but here we are. And there's another show, oddly enough, also on Apple TV, Invasion, with Sam Neill and some other folks, but Sam Neill is the main one because I felt like in the trailer he was very, what was his character's name in Jurassic Park? I was going to say Dr. Ford, but that's Westworld. That's a different part. But anyway, that is his name, right? Sam Neill?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I had like a panic attack. I was like, do they not know? Because I said the wrong actor. I thought y'all were sitting there going like, he was in Jurassic Park.
Alan Grant.
Okay. I feel like from the trailer, his character is like just older. He's basically like, who was the old guy? Was that Attenborough?
Yeah, Richard Attenborough.
Yeah, he's basically like Richard Attenborough.
What you're telling me is Sam Neill needs to make a movie where he plays Santa Claus.
Yes. He's looking... No, I mean, he doesn't look that old. Let me stop. But, it just feels like the same character, just aged up a bit. But it's like alien invasion, explosions stuff. It looks like it's gonna be good. So we just added that to the schedule. Like John said, if you guys have been listening on the free show, we've been covering Squid Game, and I think after that we're transitioning into the Mysterious Benedict Society, I believe. I don't know if you guys heard the news, but when Hawkeye debuts, it will be 2 episodes the first week, and then it's weekly. We will be covering that, and we're also covering Wheel of Time. And that's on Amazon Prime. And that is dropping, I believe, 3 episodes the first week. The same, similar to what Foundation did. And then 1 episode a week. So all of that's on the schedule. If you've not yet signed up over at Patreon, you should do so. Patreon.com/podcastfandom. All right. Show business.
I will say, Sam Neill is currently older now than Richard Attenborough was in that movie.
Oh my God. How old is he?
He's 74.
Wow. No way.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think he looked that old.
Yeah, and
So
Richard
good for him.
Attenborough was like 69 when they made that movie.
Really? He looked older than 69. Oh, God. What's he up to now? He died, right?
Not much. Yes, he did die in 2014.
Okay, I had to look it up. Yeah, he did. Anyway. So now that we always take these detours that make the podcast really sad.
I mean, well, listen, his brother, David Attenborough, is still alive and kicking at 95.
Wow. How did I forget that there were 2 Attenboroughs?
Yeah, he's the wildlife guy.
Yeah,
right?
that was the documentary. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you. That does bring it up slightly. Speaking of old white guys,
Oh, bringing it back down.
no. This is an enjoyable one. I gotta say, you guys, these 3 episodes, Martin Short stole it for me. I just found him.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm sorry. What?
I was interrupting you. So go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, I just found him to be the funniest, like, so enjoyable. I'm, like, always invested when he's on the screen. There's a couple things that happen that I find, like it doesn't hold my attention as much. But I just find, like, whenever if it's a scene with Oliver, I'm, like, I'm all in. And then the laughs are always just so unexpected. It's the best. This show is just so much fun to watch. And I love that we're doing it this way, because it's just nice to have like a chunk to watch, you know? Mm-hmm. It's like, it feels like for me the perfect amount, 3 episodes. I'm sorry.
And the thing is, like, Martin Short and Steve Martin, like, they complement each other really well. And what I was going to say when I interrupted you was that for me, like, the guy who stole it was Nathan Lane.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. No, I meant in terms of like laughs. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
But
okay.
yeah, but Nathan Lane, I thought did some great acting. Just like, he was like funny, but in some scenes, but terrifying, heartbreaking in the beginning. That scene with him and young Theo, the flashback.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. He was great in that episode.
I really liked the scene when, I forget her name, the woman who died 10 years ago.
Oh, Zoe.
Yeah, when she got off the elevator and she, did the sign language, and the way that he reacted to her knowing sign language, I thought he did really well with that. It just felt very nice. Like, like someone knows sign language, like for my son, that kind of thing. It was just nice. He feels very, like, you can, like, obviously he's a criminal, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, because like he stopped her so he could get a look at that ring. Right?
Yeah, but like, I just feel like even criminals are fathers, or parents, right? And so so it's just like, he really sold that he would hide a murder or hide a death. Because I don't feel like that was a murder.
Right. But, like, listen, when he was like, what's wrong? What happened? Tell me. And then he hears he hands him the ring and he hears the sirens and stuff. Like, I was totally on board with him. I was like, this is what you do. And I don't care if you guys judge me. This is exactly what I would fucking do. I would absolutely not. No, I'm not turning my kids into the cops. Nope. Sorry. And
especially, like, the way it happened.
Yeah, I know.
Like, at the worst, that was manslaughter. And at the best, it was self-defense.
But can I just... I'll save it. I'll save it till we get into talking about it. But yeah, I'm sorry. Donnie, I'm sorry. What were you saying?
I didn't say shit.
Oh, I thought you started to say. Okay, well, tell us how you felt about these 3 episodes.
I liked it because all 3 of them were different. So you have the first one, which I thought was genius. That it was a silent movie.
Yeah.
The second one was a little more serious and almost like it acted as a finale, but then opened back up with the fans and reopening the case.
Yeah.
So that I liked all that, and then the third one was just fucking hilarious. I just watched it again just as we're getting ready for this, and that one made me laugh out more than any of the 3.
Can you hear me up here laughing? Oh, okay. Because there were so many good scenes in that.
I
was laughing so loud, and I know I can hear where I watch TV, like our neighbors like taking their dogs out back. You know what I'm talking about. And people coming home from work, like I can hear really clearly. So I know sometimes they can hear me in here, like when I'm like talking to the TV or yelling and stuff.
Like when they bring in, I just forgot her name too. It's on the tip of my tongue. When they bring in his stunt double. Like,
Jane Lynch.
She just added so much to that fucking
episode.
There
was one scene, you guys. I had it on. This is what I mean about unexpected laughs. I had it on, taking notes, and I saw these episodes for the first time today, right? So I had it on, and I had to get up to go across the room for something. And so I'm listening to the dialogue, and then I happened to just glance at the TV as I was walking by, and it was right as she and Charles were pushing their glasses up on their nose at the same time. I don't know why that just took me out. I was walking away from the TV laughing so hard because it was just such a nice little touch. Anyway, I'm sorry. So okay, you like them all 3 different things. What about you, John?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Obviously the silent one I thought that one was really good, and that was where I was like, oh yeah, Nathan Lane really killed this one. And I mean, I did feel like a couple of the scenes, for the most part, 95%, I'd say, it doesn't feel like a gimmick that they don't have dialogue. You know what I mean?
Right.
It feels like it fits the narrative, and all of them make sense. There were a couple of scenes where it kind of felt a little forced, where it was I would expect them to be saying something right here. Like a scene where.
Oh, you mean the silent episode?
Yeah, and where Theo's not there, and it's just it just felt like there were a couple of times when you're they probably would be talking here, but I mean I get it, and that's what I mean. It's just once or twice, but I love that episode. And then like Donnie said, it did feel like the 3 of the episodes that we're talking about today are very, very unique to each other. The fact that you have a new character introduced in episode 8, who is the narrator of the episode, and
right?
This guy just comes out of nowhere,
Yeah.
I like that. And then obviously the third one, I really liked. I felt like I was sus of Jan. I don't know if y'all were, but
I absolutely listen. I was just gonna say I was not at all, and maybe it's because we walk away from it. If the show, you know what I mean? Like I said, I've been so busy with school and stuff.
She gets stabbed, and there's no weapon there. So that in my head's okay, that played to me that she did get stabbed. Somebody else is responsible. So she was never stuff like that would pull me off the radar for her.
Okay.
I thought it was she did it to herself. It just felt like she did it to herself. And when she was every time they would be what about Nathan Lane? Teddy. And I was and she was no, what about somebody else? And I was is she working with Teddy? What the fuck? Because every time they said his name, she was no, what about someone else? And I was okay, well, that's weird.
See, I honestly was thinking that she was just annoying. I thought they were just especially because we know it got picked up for a season 2. So for me, I'm oh, this is interesting that they're kind of establishing other people, if that makes sense, kind of widening the cast. This will be nice. And so I just thought it was just, interesting personality conflict. I wasn't thinking she was covering for anybody. So got me, and I was happy about that, because like even as it was happening, like when, well, we'll get there because we're jumping way ahead, but it totally took me off guard. And like one of the things I think it might have been at some point in episode 7 or 8, I was like thinking to myself, like, this show, it's funny, yes, but then it had the nerve to actually have like an interesting mystery. And I remember in the beginning, I felt like the opposite. I was like, yeah, I really don't even care about who killed him. Now I'm like, oh, okay. You know, the more we get into it, yeah, I'm invested. All right, so
you're sitting on the curb.
Yes, in my little folding chair. The Boy from 6B, like you guys said, that was the first episode. We're going to talk about episode 7. I want to make a quick correction. So I remember the first few episodes. Wait, what did we do? Yeah, we did 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. It might have been like that middle block. Like I watched those episodes, I think, a lot when I was like on vacation. I told you I had like background noise. And one of the like previously ons, I swear what Mabel says about how they got keys to the apartment is different than what was in the like actual episode. And I remember being in the hotel room and hearing it and like, you know, my head jerking up like, wait, what? Because I thought we had questioned that. Like it felt like in the whatever episode it was, 1, 2, or probably 2, 2 or 3, where she says that, where we learn about what they used to do as teenagers. It kind of sounded like Oscar's father just let them have copies of the keys. And I remember questioning, like, why would he do that? But in the previously on, she clearly says Zoe got Oscar to copy his dad's keys. So the dad didn't know. And he copied these keys to go into these apartments. So I just wanted to correct myself there. This scene with Nathan Lane and his Teddy and Theo. So wait, this is Junior, right?
Yeah, presumably.
Right, I was just going to say.
Nathan Lane's character is Theodore, probably too.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So Nico. When he can tell, like, you know, we already know that he's an investor in musicals, and he's sitting here listening to, I think it's like the soundtrack of Carousel, and his son is deaf and he can't hear, obviously, and he's wanting to share it with him. And I thought, like, because when the scene begins, it took me a moment to realize that we are in Theo's perspective. And I thought this was going to be one of those things where we learn that he can feel it, if that makes sense. Like, I know that when people question why are there ASL interpreters at concerts, and, you know, some people who are deaf or hard of hearing, they can like feel vibrations or they can all feel vibrations. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, they can hear it, the vibrations that they feel. So I thought it was going to be something like that, where this is where we learn maybe the level to which he has lost his hearing. But it just turned out that, God, why am I mixing up their names? Which one is the dad? Teddy. I feel like that should be a little boy's name, so it's throwing me off. I always want to call the son Teddy.
That's why I just say Nathan Lane.
Nathan Lane. Okay, yeah, let's just go back to that. So it turns out, though, that this was just Nathan Lane, like, kind of being the worst in that moment, but he realized how aggressive he was being and he apologized. So I felt really, like, sad, and I thought, okay, is this where we're going to learn that it's not them? And it's technically not, but you know what I mean. I was like, is this where we're going to learn that, like, it's all a misunderstanding, right? And that they're totally normal and they're fine, but nope, it just got worse. Right. I was like, oh my God. He was basically Tony Soprano.
It being episode 7 and us getting this episode, I was thinking the same thing, that like, oh, this is like how we learn that they're not actually bad.
Right, right.
Yeah, because like it was like, how can it be episode 7 and we're already seeing who did it? But yeah, obviously they did.
Right, and the more it went on, like like when you see them sneaking into the apartment and he hides, and like every little thing, I kept waiting for it to be like, oh, but then this happened. Like, you know what I mean? And even when they were up on the roof, I thought she's gonna jump. He's not gonna kill her because he just didn't seem like her murder. I'm like, how did we get here?
Yeah, I thought he was probably gonna witness it.
Yeah, or something, right? Like, I just thought, how are we getting to the point where she ends up dead and it's been hidden all this time that he was responsible? But we see how they got there.
Yeah. It turns out she's the worst.
Oh my god, yeah, yes. When he was Theo was looking at them from across the way, like, because this is perfect. What do you guys, how would you describe this building? Like the way
a horseshoe
shape, right? And
yes.
The center is like a courtyard, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, he's like, was he like on the other side, or was he was on the other side, right? He was in their building, but on the other side, like looking out with the binoculars to read their lips, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not sure if he was like directly across or if he was in like the bottom of it. Like he was in the same.
Yeah, and he was like in a stairwell.
You can see their
yeah, he was in, and he was even like, he was in a stairwell or something. He wasn't even in an apartment. But I was like, what kind of rich people binoculars?
It's like opera binoculars.
Right? Like, he was like, not only could he clearly see how their lips were moving, but then he was like reading shit on the board. I was like, what the fuck?
It's like a telescope.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit. I was like, I did not know they were that strong. I love the move when he goes to the dad. Because even now, like, it's like, you know, when he says they're on to us and you see the urns and stuff, I'm thinking, okay, the jewels. Like, okay, that, but definitely not the murder. Like, not the Tim Kono stuff. But when he's when he's telling Nathan Lane they're on to us, and he says, you're a suspect, I'm a suspect. Nathan Lane goes, so is he. And he points at Sting.
So is he.
It's like, they're clowns. Like, why are you taking this seriously?
These guys are stupid. They're just giving us free advertisement on the Tonight Show, and that's all it is.
But so yeah, let's talk about Zoe. I have the next thing in my notes for this episode. Zoe kind of sucked.
Yes.
Yeah, and, like, not just to Theo, like to the other guy. She was like so mean and rude.
You know, this was a little frustrating for me because it feels like there's this thing where, and it's typically white girls, the characters of white girls, because, you know, that's who's typically cast. But there's like this, I don't know if it's a trope, but she's difficult, promiscuous, you know, underage girl, and then she ends up dead. And then when you find out what happened, it's framed like she was asking for it, or what did she expect? Do you know what I mean? Like, they really made Zoe's death her own fault for no real reason, right? Like, you stole the ring. He needs it back because your dumbass was signing to his dad with, you know what I mean? Like, and you brought this on yourself, the fact that you got caught with this ring. And now you're like, he's offering to buy, like, he clearly likes you. And they just but you get it? It's like, they always make them, I don't know if we're supposed to think it's the rich girl who's ignored by her family in search of love. You know, remember earlier she was like, people let you down, or I don't know.
The brat or something.
Yeah, and it feels like another character like that, off the top of my head, like Laura Palmer in Twin Peaks. But I'm sure if I really sit down and think about it, and I'm sure you guys listening at home, you can already pick out some where, like, even like Pretty Little Liars, Donnie, you know, where the series begins with the death of this young girl. Again, she's always underage, and then who did it, and in unraveling it, you find out, she did drugs, she smoked, she was promiscuous, and it's like, okay, what are we trying to say here? And in her case,
that was kind of like Veronica Mars, wasn't it? Like that was kind of the
yeah, same thing with her best friend, right, Lily? Yeah, and so it's like, what are we trying to say? Is it like that? What's the message here? But then in this case, it's like they literally had it where her death, she brought it on herself.
Yes.
Well, I think, like, to me, like, I felt like here the goal was to not have you hate Theo. I think
but then
that
they
was
have you go do things where you hate him anyway. I think. I don't
know if I ended up hating him, though.
Like, why was he punching people in the stomach? And, like, it felt like he's, like, a willing participant in this. Like, I get the shit with her on the rooftop, right? But, like, I don't know if it's supposed to be this, he felt like Nathan Lane made him feel bad for not being able to share in this passion of his. This is something they can do together. You get what I mean? Like, I don't know what he gets out of doing this, but he clearly is like a willing participant.
And was gonna kill them.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. I'm like, fuck this guy.
Them if his father did not step in. He was gonna kill them.
Well,
but for this, I don't know why. Like, it just feels like, I don't know.
I feel like that when Zoe died, I feel like we're supposed to see that. Like, at least I saw it. It's like, oh, that's the turning point in Theo's life too, where like he embraces what his dad does, and so like it's like he's like, oh well, I guess I'm gonna be a criminal now because I killed this woman, and we're my dad's a criminal and he covered it up, and now like it was like that's been his life ever since then.
And so like he just kind of embraced it. It's a dead girl that's then the catalyst for this, like. And then they couldn't even commit to have him murder her. It was kind of like, oops, like, like.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the thing is, like, it's, like I said, it's manslaughter at worst. Because, like, not just, I don't think it was her fault, though. Like, I wouldn't say that.
I'm not saying that it is, but I'm saying when you write it that the only reason she ends up falling over is because she started hitting at him and pushing at him, like, the hysterical woman trope. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it wasn't like, again, it wasn't like he pushed her. It was they had her behave in some erratic way that ended up with her falling off the roof, but it also wasn't really his fault. It's just cheap.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely them sacrificing a woman to further a man's character.
Yeah. And so by the end of it, maybe hate is a strong word, but I mean, I don't give a fuck about Teddy. I mean, Theo, or whatever his name is, or either of them. Like, yeah. But, now this is my last note on this first episode. When they follow him, when they find him at the funeral home and they realize what the plan is, I did like the use of, like, them being able to text and stuff and not worry that he could hear it. Yeah, but then they fucked up because he could see the shadows moving. But I have here, how the fuck did they get in that van? How the fuck did y'all let this one guy
strong arm you in?
Yeah, and tie you up and I don't get how that happened if he didn't have a weapon.
I didn't follow anything from the basement or crematorium or whatever the fuck they were. Right. Mm-hmm. Like, I didn't follow anything from that to the scrapyard or whatever. Like, because like you said, I don't know how he got them in the van, and then when he says to Nathan Lane, they've seen everything. And I was like, what'd they see? Like, all they really saw was you stealing jewelry. Like, they didn't see murder, did they? Like,
no, and that's the thing. I didn't
understand like what it was that he was like saying they saw other than you being a Gray Roger. Like,
yes.
Gray Roger.
Because the way they chose because the way they chose to reveal how Zoe died was in that moment when he comes face to face with Mabel in the crematorium or whatever it is. And then it's all flashback. So it's like, was he talking? Like, what? You know, like, I was confused as to how they then, like, later, I think it's when, when they go back, when they go home and they go to the house and Jan is there with the bagels or whatever. Or Charles comes in with the bagels. And they're like, we were going through Tim's phone and we found out even more, blah, blah, blah. And it made it seem like they told Mabel and Oliver that they killed Tim. Right.
Yeah,
you get what I mean? Like that they didn't connect it all until Jan and Charles told them in the kitchen. But it felt like
Theo felt like they knew it already. That's what
right.
Like.
And so that's where, and then I guess because they chose to, again, reveal it to the audience in a scene where they first, like, because even, okay, when they turned around, they're trying to get out and they make eye contact, Mabel and Theo. And then we get the flashback. It's her drinking on the roof and him walking off. I thought she was going to be a more active participant, if that makes sense. Like, oh, them seeing each other is jarring her memory. But no, it was just, this is when they chose to tell the audience in a flashback, but it's not really telling me in present day what information is being exchanged, if any. So I wasn't sure what they knew. So when Jan tells them, oh, and they killed Tim, they were shocked, but it felt like, yeah, Theo already thought that. Why do you think? Yeah, because he threatened them in the car, right?
Yeah, I guess we're supposed to think they were threatening Mabel and Oliver over the jewels, or at least that's what Mabel and Oliver thought.
Okay.
But at the same time, why would Teddy and Theo think they know everything? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it feels like it's incongruous.
And I guess, is it one of those things where the bad guy, unfortunately for you, thinks you know more than you do? Because they are investigating, Tim's death. They know that much. So maybe, it's weird. I just watched these episodes a little while ago. I haven't done my usual, like, rewatch for notes. I watched it one time. And but that just felt weird to me. And it felt genuine, though. Like, so when Jan is like, this is what we found out. They killed Tim. Like, I genuinely felt like Mabel was shocked, but I was like, but I thought you knew that. But I guess you didn't. But okay.
Yeah, that whole sequence it kind of felt a little loose to me. Like, I didn't follow it completely because, like, when Charles wakes up and he's got all the text messages, right, from Oliver.
Yeah.
And it's like, when did he send those?
Right.
Well, okay. I see. I thought,
you know what I mean? Because
he was texting him while they're going through the morgue and all that type of stuff. I thought he was texting.
Okay, that's fine. But, like, he scrolls through, and the last one is telling him to try Theo as the password. And I'm like, okay, but, like, I don't know. It was just weird.
That reads like it was sent after the confrontation in the basement.
Yes. And so my thought was, exactly, John. And so my thought was, if you could send those texts, why is it just that? Like, why isn't it like, help, we are being held or something? Because, again, when they make the eye contact, we get the flashback. They don't show you what happened. The next thing you know, they're tied up in the back of the van. And that's where I have, how the fuck did they get in that van? Because I don't understand why they didn't whip Theo's ass. Okay? There's no way.
Theo's strong.
I guess. But I mean, did they even try to put up a fight? I don't know. It felt like they didn't. So what is the name?
It felt like he should have had a gun. Like, maybe that would have been...
Exactly. Especially because Mabel is like, I will cut you to the bone, motherfucker. Well, what happened, Mabel? However, there's still the way the series opened. Right? Like, it opens with her over a bloody body, right?
Mm-hmm.
Saying this is
and
what it looks
was like 6 months, like, right, or did something like that, right? Like 4 months or whatever.
Oh, I don't remember.
Like the beginning of the
I know what you're saying. I don't remember how long it was.
Yeah, it was 2 months.
So
2 months. So that we got, I mean, and we haven't even like gone through that
what's
whole.
wrong with my dog?
Kaylee's down here now because he was barking, and I told you he gets jealous that I'm on here. So what was I saying? We haven't seen that we haven't caught up to that yet. And
right.
So there's still some bigger stuff and stuff like.
Well,
like when we get to like even how episode 9 ends with us. Okay, now we think it's Jan. Like everything's leading to her. Like why is she involved in this? So it's hard for me to think that Jan's gonna go kill somebody else, but Jan might be crazy.
But yeah, I mean Jan might have already. I don't know, but I will say when we were talking about that scene that opened the series, when I was watching episode 7, I was like, oh, so it's Theo. Like that's who she's gonna kill, or somebody's gonna kill, because I think it's like a guy, right? And I was like, okay, so Theo's gonna die.
Yeah, so that's 2 months later, and then the podcast that Tina Fey's character is hosting is a few months later. So like obviously that's after the 2 months. After
the 2 months, yeah. What is the name of their fan club? The Arconianites? What do they call themselves?
Arcanites or something? I don't know.
Is it?
Arconians?
Oh, you know what? From the previous episode, I was not paying attention. What was going on with that Scrabble game?
They were flirting. So
okay.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, I figured it was that, but I didn't see any of the words.
Right, like he didn't catch on, but she was flirting, and he was like actually being serious and shit and taking score as they're putting down like just flirty words.
Yeah, and then he's like hard, and she's like wet, and I was like, okay, what's going on here?
Right, and then he's like Woody, and then she's like yum.
Yeah.
He just drops it. He's like, all right.
I like when they met with the detective and she tells them to make it tight. She says you need the who, the how, the why, and the why now. And they were like, what? And she goes, I didn't say what.
No. When he comes up and he goes, oh, I've done this before. Let me do it first. And he comes up, what the fuck? He says some stupid ass fucking line.
Yes. Oh, Brazos. When they invited the fan club, no, before the fan club comes up, it's Oscar and Jan, right? And Oscar sees those pizza rolls, and he sits down next to her, and then Charles goes and he squeezes in between them.
Yeah, that insecurity.
Yeah. That shit was so funny to me. And then she was getting on their nerves so bad. Martin Short stands up and he goes, I want to go get some dip for these dry rolls.
He was being so fucking petty.
Oh my god, that's what I swear to God. Every time I was up here like howling, laughing over the show, it was something he said.
I love it. He was like, I cannot function with all this pressure and nothing to dip. And it was so great, like that scene because Jan's there. Obviously, she shows up with the pizza rolls or whatever, and then the door knocks again or whatever, and then the way he walks to the door is like, did somebody order a fucking party?
Yes.
It's just like he's so upset, and
yes.
Then I thought it was great because Mabel was on his side about Jan. Mm-hmm. But then when Oscar shows up, Mabel's like, hey, come on in, Oscar.
Yeah.
It felt like Oliver was like isolated.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so then when he goes out and gets the dip and he gets the fans, I was like, now he's got his people.
Yes.
he brought his team to the party.
When he brings the fan club up and Jan introduces herself and that guy goes, my ex-wife was way younger too. The look on Steve Martin's face. I was like, what? I was like, shots fired.
And it's so funny because he.
Those shots kept coming the next episode too.
Every conversation, Charles is like, "We had sex."
Yes.
And Mabel's like, "Well, can you stop?"
Yes, please.
When she was going over it, though, she's like, "Gravos?" She goes, "That was her safe word."
Oh God, yes.
And this is like, you never say that again.
When they filmed that final podcast and the fan club is leaving and the one guy goes, I actually do have a job. He goes, I don't believe that. Kaylee came in the room. Like, I had called Kaylee in here and that scene was happening and she walked in right when I wasn't even looking at the TV. She walked in right when he says, I actually have a job. And Martin Short said, I don't believe that. I screamed, laughed so hard.
There was something.
I had to rewind it and make her watch it so she
there was
understood.
Something with the older guy fan. Oh fuck! He did something that episode that just fucking made me laugh too, and I can't remember what the fuck it was.
So when Jan is now, here's the thing that I don't like about like this, like. The next episode is the finale. The way that the next episode that we're going to talk about, episode 9, the way it ends off, again, they're really pushing this, Jan is sus. Jan's up to something. What's up with the note on her door?
Yeah, so that, I don't know, but I'll tell you my thought process. Was like, when she was defending Teddy, or trying to throw them off of Teddy, I was like, oh, she's working with Teddy. But then when she got to her apartment and that note was there, I was like, oh, Teddy has something on her. And so that's why she was throwing them off of Teddy.
Okay.
So he's forcing her. But then, episode 9 happens, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So I don't really know.
Yeah, because it's like, clearly it's, we were meant to think that was, like, stop working on the podcast, right? Like that it's Teddy or somebody, but now obviously I don't know if she was working with someone or I don't know. Who else had a note on their door?
The only one I remember is Oliver.
Yes.
Right, that's right. Before his dog. And we still don't know who did that to his dog, right?
I don't think so.
What if it's Bunny?
Is that the one that...
The head of the...
I think it's Bunny.
The ones to a victim, yeah.
Right,
I don't know.
Because she's really trying to push people out.
Right.
And like they said, no one wants a podcast about real estate.
I don't like... When they were like... Because this is a co-op, apparently. Mm-hmm. And so I was like... Just 8 people have to vote and you can get your ass kicked out? Like what the fuck? Like, you just need 8 people to say, no, we don't want you here. And it's like, well, you're out.
Yeah, and it feels like that's some TV bullshit, because notice when she was like, you can't kick my aunt out. She's like, oh, but we could kick you out. And I'm like, how does that work?
It's like, you could just kick her out now, I guess.
Right?
She's not technically a resident.
So the final episode.
Before we go into that one, one thing that I noticed. It's probably been in other episodes, but I just noticed it in this one. In Oliver's kitchen, have y'all seen like the picture he has like over his counter?
No.
It just says nice hot vegetables. And I'm like, what the fuck is this about? And it's just like a tie-dye picture with that text on it. And I'm like, all right.
I thought you were going to have the answer. Right? You brought this up to have us all confused. I know. I'm like, what?
I'm just saying. I just saw that. I was like, what is this?
I like that that mural that she's painting, Mabel's painting, is the opening credits. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much her aunt's going to appreciate that.
Look, Maple been in that apartment now at least 2 months that we know of, and probably longer than that, and she hasn't done shit in there. I noticed that, like, the last episode, the walls are still busted down, or whatever episode they were sleeping all in her room, but the walls are still busted down. She didn't even finish painting.
I will say one thing. I'm so glad you said that. There was a moment where I was not suspicious of Jan, but I was getting a little suspicious of Mabel, and it was a scene where it's not the scene with her and Oliver at the end, but it's before that, and it's Mabel. I feel like she was standing with 3 people, and she's like on the left end, and they're talking to one person, I think Charles, and they're speculating about Tim's personal life. Or maybe they were at the table, but they're speculating about Tim's personal life and whether or not he might have had like a girlfriend or a boyfriend or something. And I don't know. It flipped me back to like, is Mabel playing us? To the point where for 1 second I was like, do we know if Selena Gomez is in season 2? Because...
I remember she was my first suspect when we did the first podcast that I was always suspect to her, but then it was something that turned me off. But now that more stuff's coming into light with the episode 9 that, he had a girlfriend, but nobody knows who she was. And
well, I mean, at this point, we haven't gone back to the
engagement. She took the engagement ring, and we still have. They never went back to that. Like, it just kind of died out.
I was just going to ask you about that. Like, did we see the engagement? Do we know did that come back?
No. It's just other shit started happening, and it was kind of forgotten about.
So, okay, really quickly, I do like that Saz, is that her name? The Jane Lynch character? When she was like, I took a look at your beautiful mind situation. The way we always call those beautiful mind boards. So when she said that, I really thought she was going to say, I took a look at your beautiful mind board. I love when Oliver gets his eviction notice and he goes barging into Charles's place.
He goes, what's he say? Fucking bed ears.
No, he goes, she opens the door and the first words out of his mouth is, well, Bunny's a fuckface.
Yeah, that's it.
I just picture...
said there, he's like, what?
Yes, he goes, whatever work you...
stops. He's like, I didn't expect you to be here type of thing. And just starts rolling in all his shit.
He said, whatever work you've had done is too much. You've gone too far.
Oh, that shit was fucking hilarious. And then because he still thought it was Charles, even like...
When he walks in, he screams. He goes, I'm over here.
He said, what is this, Face Off?
Yes. Yes. It's just him. He just kills me.
I loved when Saz or whatever starts helping, and they're like, yeah, this is great. And then Jan goes, when I offered to help, everyone sent me home to get stabbed.
Yeah. He goes, he's like, but she's a stunt double, or she's a double or something. Like, we gotta believe her.
She knows.
But the way he says it to her, like, but she's a stunt double.
Oh my god. But they are evicted. The and they did this thing where, like, I thought they were gonna, like, get the community support because Howard speaks up and he gives this very important information that his fucking cat was poisoned with the same poison that poisoned Tim, which I'm like, how the fuck do you know that? But okay.
And then he's like, they broke into my apartment, took the leg of my cat.
It's like, the killer has the leg.
And then they're like, why would they just take the leg? It's like, she had very nice gams.
Okay, but like, Why is my dog freaking out? Because Donnie's laughing.
Having fun.
He's like me. He hates it when you have fun.
What the fuck are you doing?
But I'm glad you mentioned that because there's a point where like later when I don't remember if it's after he quits the podcast, but at some point he's talking to her, Jan, and he says something about like a dead cat's leg or something, and she says, I don't know that story. Yeah. And now that if we're suspicious of her and we know that there is a connection between that cat's death and Tim, and presumably what was almost done to Oliver's dog, then I wonder if that can be important later.
That the cat had the same poison?
No, well, the fact that she said she didn't know that he had the cat leg. You know what I mean? Like, that was just like a...
The one thing I'm trying to figure out, like, okay, so Tim was poisoned, and he was shot. Like, so they're telling us that somebody tried to kill... There's two different people here trying to kill him. So somebody poisoned him to kill him, but then somebody went there first.
No. Somebody poisoned him and then wanted to look like a suicide.
Yeah.
They didn't want them to know that he was poisoned.
So
they didn't want them to... Okay. Right. I guess they didn't want them to, look into the death beyond... Oh, it's just a suicide. As you see, like, they hadn't done a toxicology, or at least why is she getting the results now? They were very keen to just, and that implies what? Corruption, right? Like she said.
Yeah, that's the thing is like. So go ahead.
No, I was just thinking aloud, like what she had said that episode about, when they don't want you, when they close something like this, they don't want you, poking into it. And it's why she anonymously mailed them the phone. So
yeah, and that's what I was thinking. Like, what would there be that would cause the police to be like, we don't want to do this? And I was like, is that also Teddy? Like, was there like maybe camera footage of what happened that night, and he made it go away in some way? Or I don't know.
I don't know, because they did mention that this is the episode we learned that there's a camera in the courtyard. Mm-hmm. Right, because that's how they got. Right, that's how they knew that they weren't in the building. Right, the Demuses they weren't in the building when the fire alarm went off. So, I don't know. When they figure out that Tim was taking out, so what they think is that. Wait. I just want to say this really quickly. I love how they got like everybody in on it, and everybody has, in a way, been helpful. Right? Like the podcast listener kids and Saz. Like, it's like things that, they said to them and they'd be like, why didn't we think of that? I love that. But they noted that when he got on the elevator the first episode, when Tim got on the elevator, he got on the elevator at the 6th floor, which they were assuming that was Teddy. Right? Like, he had come, like, remember they were like, was it his trash or was it Teddy's trash? But now they were thinking he was seeing someone and he was taking out their trash, right? For them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was what I said, yeah.
And so then they decide, well, who would know about his like personal comings and going? So they decide to go talk to Miss Econo, right? And that's just Oliver and Mabel, right? Because at this point, Charles is out of it.
I was like, why? Like, when they said, "Oh, we haven't talked to Tim Kono's neighbor yet," and I was like, "Wait, why wouldn't you have talked to his neighbor?"
Because they don't know what the fuck they doing.
And that, I guess this also, for me, I guess it lessens the suspect of Mabel, because who knows if this woman would have seen Mabel come out of his apartment.
Right. Yeah, I don't think... No. I was just saying, for me, it was just one point in the episode where they were You know, like when you're watching a mystery show like this and there is that like one conversation where you realize, oh, wait, we're not done yet. Or there, you know, it was like that moment. And it was like, well, who was he seeing? Was he seeing someone? And like you said, then the ring popped into my head. So it's like, but are we supposed to believe then? Because Missy Kona tells them that he had a girlfriend. It was definitely a girl. And that she would be really, really loud. She was like, I hated him, but he knew what he was doing. And Oliver was just like, He did the grunt again. I love it so much. I don't know. I swear he's channeling somebody's black auntie when he does that little grunt. And it actually says that in a closed caption, by the way. It says Oliver grunts.
Oh, I thought you were... Yeah, it actually says that in the closed caption, black auntie.
Oh, no. Black auntie grunts. But, so we're supposed to believe then... Well, wait, let's talk about Jan, and then we'll talk about where
we're talking about Jan already.
Right. Is that it? So while they are piecing together, and look, I love this again because I did not see this coming. Watch a lot of TV, predict a lot of shit right. I love being surprised. When they're sitting here trying to piece together, like, what they can learn about his lover from the sex toys that they found. And I love that these sex toys came back. Do you remember from
They did, because I watched the episode again. I noticed this time that they did a flashback to, I guess they must have came up in one of the earlier episodes, like when we did the last podcast, and we just didn't notice it as, because they do it in like one of the previously ons. Before they actually get to that scene in this episode.
What, the sex toys? Yeah.
Right, that they had found the box of sex toys, but then that's it.
And I just thought, like, it was just like a stupid gag, you know? Like, ha ha ha, right. He fucks. Okay, great. You know? Like, oh, he likes sex toys. But, like, the fact that they brought it back and that it is the thing that's apparently going to blow this shit up. But wait, while that's going on, right? They're looking through the sex toys. They're being silly about it.
She's like, all I know is it goes in a hole somewhere.
Yeah. Charles listens to Zaz, right? And he goes to her show. He goes to Jan's show. Right. Now, I remember thinking when they were having this conversation, I was like, see, this couldn't be Ted Lasso. Because the people on Ted Lasso give really good advice. I was like, this is unhealthy. I get what she was trying to do, but like, if your boyfriend or girlfriend or your significant other tells you, I don't want you to come to see me like this, don't go. Don't let somebody else talk you into, no. You need to go support. No.
Although when she said, I don't want you to come, I was so sus of that. I was like, are we going to find out she ain't really in there? Because she's not really performing that night or something. That's why she doesn't want him to go. Like, I was already in the mindset of suspecting her.
Right, but generally, like, if you don't think you're dating a murderer, if you're just a normal person, respect people's wishes. Like, this is a very unhealthy, no means yes type bullshit, okay? She said, I don't want you to go, and here's why I don't want you to go. You don't have to agree with the why. You don't have to understand the why. If you want to try to understand the why and talk about it in a way that doesn't say, I'm trying to change your mind, sure. But don't let somebody talk you into, no. This is for you, go do that. But anyway, he takes this toxic advice. And as this is going on, they're fucking around with the sex toys. Not in a sexy way, in an investigative way. And I'm losing my shit because I'm like, how is it Jan? Right? Because that like felt like clearly where this scene is going. So when he sits down next to that little boy and the little boy is like, I'm here to see my girlfriend. I was like, please tell me Jan is
there. Jan's fucking
That's my first thought too.
You guys, I was going through it because while this is going on, again, you got the sex toy scene going. So I don't know where the fuck we're going with this. And I was afraid. But then that little girl came out. The little girl came out as the first chair. And like briefly, I'm like, who the fuck is this? But so what we're supposed to think at this point, right, is like, now you see it coming, right? When they're like, we have the youngest first chair for soup. And Charles is like, youngest? So it's already starting to smell foul, right? And a little girl comes out and she sits there and Charles. So I'm like, oh, she's a liar.
Yeah, this girl took her chair.
Right. But then they're making the revelation, like, the sex toy, she said, maybe it's for someone who pretends to be a cat. And they called the place to look it up, and it's like, it clearly says like exotic instruments or something.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, that's it right there.
No, so here we go. Here we go. And he's like, why does Tim have a bassoon cleaner in his
sex toys?
I was like, what the fuck were they
And we
doing?
already know this woman's a horny freaking...
How do we know this?
Oh, she's the one that instigated the whole Scrabble thing. And
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, no. But if she's the killer, this was her plan.
Her horny plan.
Her horny plan. She's using her other weapon.
They explored each other's bodies.
Bill, please don't say that. So, yeah. What the fuck is going on, guys?
I don't know. I don't think she's the killer though. I think they're gonna throw us for another loop. But
yeah,
I do think
like
she's obviously lying about something. And maybe she did have a relationship with this guy or whatever. But I feel like this is all red herring.
Yeah, it definitely feels like another curveball is probably gonna come. Like, it feels too clean for it to end.
Okay, but wait. I'm sorry, John. Go ahead.
I was just like, when you end the 9th episode like that, it feels like you're saying, look, it's Jan, and it's not Jan. You know what I mean?
But wait. What about, one thing we didn't talk about, the poison. His nose is bleeding. Why is his nose bleeding? Because
like they showed that in the previous scene to remind us that when he gets anxious,
his nose bleeds. Okay, because there was, I thought that was the case, like that felt familiar, but I wasn't 100% sure. And first thing in my head was the poison and how she's like baking those pizza rolls. And then didn't she do something else in this episode? Like with food? I don't know.
I don't remember. I know the bagels, but she didn't make those.
No, he went and got the bagels. I don't know. I felt like there was something else with food that she had made or offered to make or something. And I don't know. It just made me suspicious. Thinking of poison. It had, yeah, I mean, somebody in the building, but like, why would they kill his cat though? That's so fucked up.
Yeah,
I feel like whenever he put the poison in, the cat
got to it by accident.
Right. So if it was the food or whatever, and Tim didn't finish it, and the cat came and ate it somehow
out of his trash or something. Right. Where does Howard live? Like what floor? He's on the. He's not on the.
Too much.
Neither. You don't have these drawings yet. Come on.
Look, motherfucker, don't make me pull out the Apple Pencil because I'm about to.
The only reason I know that Teddy was on the 6th floor is because they had it in an episode title.
No. But also, wait a minute. He lives on the same floor as Tim, right? Because doesn't he have beef? Howard, doesn't he have beef with the black lady? Who was the one? Because he was like accusing her of doing something to the cat. He has beef with her, and I thought it was because something like, doesn't she want to like knock down some walls or something?
Yeah,
like she wants his apartment.
Tim's apartment, so that was why.
Is it Tim's apartment, or does she want?
No, she wants Tim's apartment.
Okay.
She can make her.
So who is the one that had the beef with? All right, whatever. I know I'm asking too much. I'm just curious.
It's someone who has allergies. I know, and then they mentioned in this Bunny. Yeah, Bunny mentioned that 6 people have already complained about Howard when she threatens him.
Yes, that's right.
So like he's got beef with a lot of people, apparently.
I still think it's Bunny.
Yeah, I have no idea like who it would be if it's not Jan, and I don't think it's Jan. So I don't know.
This is very much like Clue because it could be anybody. It could be everybody.
It's weird. I'm honestly 50-50. Like, I definitely think Jan was fucking him. Like, right? There's no other reason.
Nina, what if the finale was like Clue, and they just gave, like, the whole finale was just different
endings.
Different endings.
That would be great if it happened. But what if it happened like this?
What would be great is if some people, like, when you hit the play button, you got a different ending. So, like, the 3 of us came to this podcast.
That would make a hell of a podcast. Johnny's like, that didn't happen.
Yeah, you don't know which one until you talk about it with somebody else.
I mean, that would be great because it's about a podcast.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's so funny. Let me go to the feedback really quickly.
I don't know, like, I'm not sure because it could be like, because she kept trying to get them to go after Howard. And
right, and that would make sense if she's the one who poisoned Howard's cat, too.
Yeah, so, like, it could be, like, that she was trying to make it look like it was Howard by having the poison be the same. Like, so she poisoned the cat and Tim, and then, you know.
The one thing if it is her, then the one thing that I think they did well was with the cell phone. Because she helped him go through the cell phone and do all the research and stuff like that, and that gives her an opportunity to delete anything if there was any kind of evidence of her on his cell phone.
Yeah, that's true.
We
get a flashback scene of Steve Martin pass the fuck out and her just deleting shit out the iCloud.
Deleting her sets.
Go get some bagels.
Oh, God.
Oliver, the tie-dye sweatshirt he's wearing in that scene where they get evicted, he's like, I have these shirts for sale.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the tie-dye, yeah.
I was like, I would wear that shirt.
I would totally wear that shirt.
Did you guys catch, like, in that, especially the 9th episode, I felt like there's so much gut milk in the background.
When he said the rolls would go good with the gut milk. I completely forgot about the gut milk connection.
Gut milk was all over episode 9. It was hilarious.
Oh, God.
And the dip, like, when they find out that Teddy and Theo didn't kill Tim, and then the next episode 9, begins with Oliver, like, talking on the podcast, and he's like, we can go back to, you know, we can continue eating this safe in the knowledge that the owners haven't murdered anyone in the last few months.
Yes. Because I mean, they're in trouble for the jewelry stuff, and he's in trouble for Zoe, right?
Yeah.
And that's why Oscar is meeting with a lawyer to get his name cleared. I gotta tell you, he's taking this very well.
Right, for somebody that spent a few years in prison.
A few, 10.
10 goddamn years, white man.
That's a few.
That's just a few, yeah.
More than a couple.
And I'm like, he's really got a good attitude about all this, because I might burn that building down.
Or at least get some money.
Right? I'd be looking to sue. Oh my God. It would be Oscar's dips, okay?
Yeah, Oscar's dips. And Deli.
Yeah.
I really liked.
And trap yoga.
and he could be the sponsor of the podcast next season.
Yeah.
I liked, there were two scenes that I really liked that I thought were just really nicely done scenes. They were just one of them was in episode 7 when Theo talks to the doorman.
Yeah.
Like when
I hate these fucking people.
Yeah, exactly. Like the fact that the doorman, like, he's obviously trying to learn sign language, and you would assume he's been trying to learn for a long time. And that, it just like, it hints at a history between the two characters.
Yes.
That, like, it just, in that one scene, you're like, oh yeah, like Theo's lived here for a long time. This doorman's worked here for a long time. It, you know, it just felt, it was good. And then the other one,
they showed him, and I think it was one of those like voiceovers as they were trying to come up with other suspects, and they actually showed him.
And I got nervous because he was like delivering somebody's dry cleaning, and I was like,
right,
you better not put a note on the door.
Yeah, just a note.
With the dry cleaning.
I mean, he does hate these fucking people.
Yeah.
The other one was when, well, I liked when Oliver is laid on Mabel's couch, and because the wall is not there, so he's like, y'all better not do anything in there. He's like, oh, it's so hard because this is really arousing.
Yeah.
Then the next morning when Oscar, you know, he's leaving, and Oscar's like, see ya, Ollie. And then Oliver's like, bye, Oscar. Good luck. I just liked that.
Yeah.
I just felt like that was a nice, like it's a kind of a throwaway moment, but it just kind of hints at like they're like familiar with each other now.
I like that too. I'm glad you brought that up. It made me think, there were a couple of times where I was thinking what it must be like for some of these like young actors, like the one, what's his name? Sam, one of the fan club, the young guy, the youngest one, the most positive one. I think his name is Sam.
The youngest, like the child?
No. Not the Asian boy who went home, he had like a piano lesson. Yeah. Not him, but the next one.
Yeah, Jabuki Young White.
I was like, what it must be like to like be in a scene with like Martin Short like he was, and like going back and forth and like holding his own and getting laughs and like, you know, I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
cool.
like for, you know, like a young comedian, like that's got to be huge to be in this movie with.
How old is he?
20 something, I want to say.
Really? I thought this was like a teenager. I'm not kidding. I thought this was a teenager.
I'm pretty sure he's 20 something. I can look it up, but
27.
Yeah. And I mean, and I liked it when like the scene when he plays Tim Kono.
Yes.
And then he's like laying on the floor, and like 5 minutes later, Oliver's like, Sam, anytime you can get up. Like you just forget that he was on the floor.
Yes. All right. So, what is wrong with my dog? Okay. Only murders in the building. Kimberly. I'm gonna check my email because I thought there was another one. Hello, Nina, Donnie, and John. Hey. That opening scene was disturbing, although I did like the presentation of the appropriate scenes representing the deaf person's point of view. I knew Nathan Lane or his son Theo, who reminded me of Jason Bateman in certain scenes, was sus. Oh, really? I didn't see that.
Which one?
His son, the son Theo.
Oh, he reminded me of Donnie Wahlberg for some reason.
Oh, God.
Jeez,
I don't know why.
Like every white guy looks the same.
Well, it's just I don't know. I'm just thinking like Donnie Wahlberg in Sixth Sense. Like he just reminded me. I don't know.
Really? Donnie Wahlberg in Sixth Sense was like 14 pounds.
I know.
This guy's like thick. He's heavier. Still not believing that he could take Selena Gomez and Martin Short though. Sorry.
He reminded me of Alan Ruck in Ferris Bueller. Anyway, you go ahead.
The son's deafness makes it easy for him to be duplicitous. But, like, here's the thing. Like, obviously, they're telling us he's been deaf his entire life, right? So he's clearly used to it. He knows how to navigate his world. But, like, I'm not deaf, so I found myself watching the scenes with him sneaking and doing things like with extra anxiety, because I'm like, you can't hear if someone's behind you. Don't ask me why I was like having anxiety for the bad guy. But, you know, you're just in that moment where it's like tense. It made it extra tense. And I thought it made it almost that much more ballsier that he was doing it. But then they had scenes like when he went to the apartment and he knocks and then he puts his hand against the door. Mm-hmm. And I'm assuming that's so he can hear.
Yeah,
if they answer. And you know what I mean by hear, feel. If they answer, I guess he could feel the footsteps approaching or someone calling out, maybe. I don't know. But I like that. Stuff like that. But it made it so much more tense.
Yeah, like when he was in there taking the picture of the beautiful mind board, mm-hmm. I was like, they're going to show up. Like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah, yeah.
Even now, like, because that comes back again when they're in the morgue and they're behind him and they're like, oh, we're going to get away with, but he sees the reflection in the monster.
When Martin Short, like when Mabel texts Oliver, I was like, whoever this is going to hear his phone vibrate. Yeah. What are you doing? And then it turns out it was Theo. I was like, okay.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, I was panicked. And I thought we were supposed to know it's Theo. I don't remember. But I remember being panicked. And he had that stuff on. Because I remember thinking it's like some of the guards people wear for COVID.
Like a hazmat
the visors. Yeah. So I remember just like looking up and like seeing whoever it was. And then I just assumed that it was Theo. So I had the same thought when they were texting. I was like, this is a bad idea. But then I was like, oh, no, it's Theo. It's fine. But then they fucked it up by moving too much. Like, moving way too much. Okay.
Like, they could have just, waited for him to leave.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, and I guess, like, that's kind of, like, the fun and the beauty of it is that they are bad at this because this isn't what they do. So anyway, so she says his deafness makes it easy for him to be duplicitous because, face it, prejudice against differently abled people often result in them being seen as non-entities. Had Theo confessed, omitting the jewelry part, he likely would not have spent more than a few days in jail, as the prejudice previously mentioned would have worked in Theo's favor. He and his father truly are despicable for allowing that Oscar spend 10 years in prison for a crime he did not commit. Yeah, and not only, like, and threaten Mabel. Because, you know, we couldn't figure out, like, why Tim would not lie, but not say the truth. Like, you know, not say anything. And
I'm glad that Kimberly, is that whose feedback is it? I'm glad she mentioned that because you notice when Teddy is talking to Tim. And like, it's not just that he's not just that he says you didn't see anything. It's that you didn't see anything, and it's that other guy, Oscar. Like, it was like they made him like like they made it clear that Teddy knew Oscar was going to take the fall for it, and he was all for it.
Yep. So then she says, please don't let Holly. Please don't let Holly from The Office be anything other than what she appears to be. Oh, well. You sweet summer watching episode 7 child. Sidebar, I love the Beyonce Jay-Z commercial for Tiffany. I don't think I've seen it. I don't think I would pay attention to. I think Hulu's like one of the few things I watch that has commercials, but I don't pay attention to them. I do like that they ask you to choose the commercial you want. Do you have that, John, on your account?
I don't have that shit.
No, I
do you have an account without commercials?
Yes.
Okay.
That's why I don't have the combo with Disney Plus and ESPN Plus, because the Hulu that they offer with that is the one with ads, and I'm like, well, I don't want that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like when I start a show, they'll say, which of these ads would you prefer?
Oh, yeah. You know, I've had that once in a while, but I don't have it very often.
Yeah. Okay. So then she says, for episode 8, we open with another Daily Show member, this time Jabuki, I hope I'm saying this right, Jabuki Young White, as the lead nut Lead nut on the fruit.
Lead nut.
Wait, it gets better. As the lead nut on the fruitcake of the podcast within the show's fans. Who's the lead nut on our fruitcake?
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say.
I'm gonna put this in the group as soon as we are done.
Which one of y'all is the lead nut?
Which one of you is the lead nut? Tag yourself.
I mean, we can just like have a competition. Squid Game this shit.
Yeah, I always love
Nut game.
Squid nut game.
Squid nuts. I'd eat it.
That's some sushi I would not touch.
It's like corn nuts, but like different.
But squishy.
I hate you both. Kimberly, see what you did. Anyway, is the lead nut on the fruitcake of the podcast within the show's fans. Although the Asian asked why can't I read? Asked the question I had. Oh, the Asian kid. Why would Teddy sponsor the podcast?
Yep.
Yeah, it did feel like. I mean, I
thought because he could control it, maybe.
Yeah, like I accepted the fact that they said that twice. Basically, like first they had Teddy say, keep your friends close and your enemies closer, to Theo. And then in that, when the kid asked that question, the answer he got was hubris.
Yes.
And so I was like, yeah, I mean, like I accept that. Like I think that's fine. I mean, it would. Yeah. Maybe it's not that, but I with one episode left, I don't think we're gonna find out. It's anything different from that.
No, I just felt like he did it at first because he hey, these stupid guys ain't gonna like.
Yeah.
I'm
he didn't
my
think
business well enough that I have nothing to worry about because they're worried about this murder. Like I don't think he think he knew anything about Tim. I don't think he knew Tim was onto him. Like all of that stuff they didn't know, so he had no reason to suspect that he had anything to do with that murder.
That's true. Now we know that, right? That he didn't know that Tim, right. Oh crap, there was one other thing. Oh god, I lost it. Oh, but he also got like all that not free, but great publicity. Definitely more publicity than, he paid them being on the Tonight Show.
Yeah, right? I wonder. I mean, that I did think about that, like, because obviously he's got the dips, and he's got the delis, and
he said it like it's the yips.
And he's got the dead.
So I'm just wondering, like, how much of his, like, does he give a shit about promoting his business when he's making however much money on jewels?
Yeah, because he's greedy as shit.
What'd you say?
I said, yeah, because he's greedy as shit.
Well, yeah, I guess. Yeah. But I wonder what I was wondering was, like, how much of his money comes from, like, legal things and how much of his money comes from illegal things.
And I'm guessing, like, I don't know anything about this, but I'm assuming he's rich off some investing in some shows. None of Oliver's shows, but
Splash. That was funny.
He said
Splash too, and he's like, "Nice comeback, but mean."
Yes.
What was the one that he named on this one with the first one that ever used real dead bodies or something? Oh, with the Weekend at Bernie's thing.
I do not know what you're talking about.
Yeah, like, was it? Did he combine it like with Tuesdays with Maury?
Yes, that's what it was.
Like
Tuesdays with Bernie or something like that.
Yeah. It was a crossover between Tuesdays with Maury and Weekend at Bernie's.
Nathan Lane as a man to be feared. He has to love getting the chance to play the villain. Yeah, I was thinking that. Like, I don't know if I've ever seen him be a bad guy before. But he was like I said, he was like Tony Soprano real quick when he was like, I love sitting in this seat because Theo can't hear me and see my lips, like read my lips in the reflection. So some things a son should never. I was like, you are nasty. You are just the fucking worst, threatening these people. Jan is now in our Scooby gang of the unexpected, along with Oscar and Dee. Charles being in a quote-unquote love daze was hilarious. She put it on him, didn't she?
Yeah, his nose was wide open.
Literally, he's bleeding out. Poor Jan and her chewy pizza rolls. They should have... First they were dry, now they're chewy.
Like, I tell you, I want some homemade pizza rolls. I bet they were good.
Oh, I bet they were poisoned.
Worth it.
They should have listened to her, since we now know Tim was poisoned, meaning the shooter shot a dead man, and our grave robbers are in the clear for this particular crime. Charles, Oliver, and Mabel made the rookie mistake of not figuring out that all murders, even seemingly irrelevant pet deaths, must be addressed. Yes, this is yet another episode where I'm left knowing that my love for Steve Martin is good and right. This show has increased my appreciation for Martin Short. Same. I'm going to scroll through the email really quickly because I don't want to miss anyone, because we just have one more podcast for this show left, or for this season, I should say. I'm in the wrong email. I'm in my school email address because I am brainwashed, you guys. I can't escape. But we will be back for season 2. Squid Game, Foundation, Attack on Titan, Fred Lasso. No, Ted Lasso.
Fred Lasso.
Ted Lasso.
That's his brother.
What the fuck is Cred? What is she talking about?
Led Tasso. Do you remember?
Yes.
He had her alter ego.
Oh my god!
Alter ego episode. That was Led Tasso. Okay, I think actually that was it. Okay. Oh, this was an old one I saw. My bad. Okay. All right. Well, that is it, you guys. Thank you for listening. I told you all the good stuff we got coming up at the start of the podcast. So hopefully, if you're interested in all of that other premium good stuff, you'll go over to patreon.com/podcastfandom and become a premium subscriber. Otherwise, free stuff. We still have a lot more Squid Game coming up. And there's one other thing, and I'm totally blowing it. Oh, did I say invasion? Yes, invasion. Do you guys want to add anything before we go? Oh, wait, let's do prediction really quickly.
All right.
Because it is the finale. Who killed... Wait. Did the same person who killed Tim killed the cat, right? Do we all agree on that?
Yes.
Intentionally or...
I don't know. Okay, well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Who killed Tim? John.
No, I didn't. You can't prove it. Who killed Tim? I don't know. I'm gonna say Jan, just because I don't know.
Okay. Donnie. Donnie, are you okay?
His dog's going crazy. I'm gonna go with Bunny.
I hate you.
I'm also gonna give the prediction that we're not gonna know at the finale.
Oh, because of season 2. Okay.
I would not. I don't think I would like that.
John's like, don't like that.
No, I mean, like,
I agree. I don't think I would like that either. I agree.
I mean, I gotta have some resolution.
Yeah.
Like, there could be something left open, but I need something.
And And that's why I like, though, that they, and I can't believe this. I meant to mention this earlier. There was a moment when, I think when I was watching episode 7, where I felt like 7 and 8 maybe, where I thought, oh my God, are we getting to the point where we realize this really should have been like an 8-episode season? Like maybe they didn't need 10 episodes. Because I was like, we're getting a lot of new stuff, like a lot of new people, you know. But no, everything has a purpose. Everything has a reason. They know what they're doing. I do think that they have set it up where, because they've introduced all these interesting characters, that it could be something completely different next season and it would be fine. Like they don't need any kind of carryover, if that makes sense. It could be a whole new murder, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I don't know, like, oh, that would be interesting if only murders in the building, but like it's the different building next season.
Oh, wait. No, I'm not even kidding. I was actually thinking this like a few nights ago. What if they just like, it's just successful? Like they do end up solving this, right? And it's just their podcast, but they're like, people come to them. Like how people come to us and say, hey, can you cover this show? I think it's really interesting. I want to know your thoughts. So people say, hey, there's this case in my town or something like that. Or in my borough. Keep it in New York. And so their podcast... What?
I don't remember if we mentioned this, but I still can't, in the previous episodes, not in these, when they said, when one of them, I think it was Charles, was like, this is the first time I'm out of Manhattan in years. I was like, God, that's crazy. I was just like, Brooklyn's right there. The Bronx. You can go other places.
Nah, you're a rich old white dude. That Upper East Side is all he needs. I'm gonna go with Jan. I do think Bunny is sus. I would say I would bet. What if the poison, like how we were like, what if the cat, I almost said dog, got into the poison accidentally? It's like it was only meant for Tim. What if it's the other way around?
Well, I mean, that's the thing is, like, they said the cat...
poison the cat, but then the cat got up in his counters and got into his shit, which accidentally poisoned him.
Like...
I mean,
I'm sorry. Go ahead, John, because what I was going to say was so gross, it deserves to just stay in my head. Go ahead.
You're going to say something about some cat shit, ain't you?
Yes, I was. Just go. Go, John.
I was going to say, they did mention that one of the issues with the cat was that it would just climb along the building and come into people's window.
Ew.
So, like, the cat could have eaten the poison in someone else's apartment. It wouldn't have to have been Howard's poison.
Right.
Like, the cat could have just eaten it somewhere else and brought it home.
This show got a lot of goddamn nerve making me think.
Right?
I just want to cackle and laugh. Right. I just want to cackle and laugh, which I do so much. But, like, this whole mystery, like, I'm actually invested. I want to see how they pull this off. And I think because, again, with these 3 episodes, there were so many, like, cool callbacks and things that you didn't maybe think meant anything, but it did, that I just kind of trust the writing more than I did before. You know, they're really bringing it home. So, all right. Well, thank you guys.
One other thing I wanted to mention, because when you mentioned Nathan Lane never getting to play a bad guy, I thought I remembered us seeing him play a guy that was kind of like this, and in The People versus O.J. Simpson.
Oh, that's right.
He played that lawyer.
Yeah, that's right. He was not F. Lee Bailey.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Was he F. Lee Bailey?
Mm-hmm.
I think he just recently died too, didn't he? Or maybe I'm thinking of another attorney associated.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, in June.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, sorry to bring the podcast down, but that's just what we do sometimes. We'll talk to you next time. Bye.
Just a reminder that David Attenborough is still alive.